The ocean was calm that morning, but deep below the waves, machines and lights were busy. The Earth Exploration Agency had sent its newest submersible to investigate a strange signal detected in the Mariana Trench. At first, scientists thought it was just another mineral deposit or some volcanic activity. But then the readings became clear. The signal was artificial. Commander Elias Rains, leader of the expedition, stared at the monitor as the submersible's cameras revealed something massive, hidden beneath centuries of silt. It wasn't rock, it wasn't natural. It was a structure, smooth, metallic, and impossibly large. "Bring the drones closer," Rains ordered. The drone swam toward the object, brushing away silt and seaweed. As the cameras focused, everyone in the control room gasped. It was a ship. Not just any ship, it was huge, larger than any vessel Earth had ever built. Its design was sharp and alien-looking, but the markings carved into its hull were in English. The letters, though faded, could still be read: UHS Invictus, UHS, United Human Ship. The room fell silent. Dr. Kira Holt, a historian, brought on. The expedition whispered, This shouldn't exist. There's no record of any such warship in human history." Yet the ship was real. Buried under miles of water and time, it had been waiting. When news reached the galactic network, aliens laughed. Across countless systems, humans were known as a young race, barely spacefaring, fragile, still clinging to their homeworld. The idea that these primitives had found some ancient warship was comedy to them. On Valoran Prime, a council of alien delegates mocked the discovery during a broadcast. "The humans believe they've uncovered a relic of their own power," one delegate sneered. "Perhaps it's just a rusty cargo hauler their ancestors forgot to recycle." Laughter filled the chamber, but humanity wasn't laughing. Back on Earth, the excavation continued. Drones cleared away centuries of ocean muck, revealing the warship in full. It was terrifyingly beautiful, sleek and jagged, with weapon ports lining its flanks. The ship stretched nearly 2 kilometers long. "This thing is a battleship," Rains said, his voice tense with awe. "But it's older than any of our recorded history. How is that possible?" Dr. Holt examined more markings revealed along the hull. Some were English, some were in an older, unrecognizable script. This might mean humanity's past is far deeper than we know. Maybe we forgot. Or maybe someone erased it. The ship was hauled slowly, piece by piece, toward a hidden naval dockyard. Engineers and scientists from every nation came together, united by a mix of curiosity and fear. The first attempt to power the vessel was a disaster. Energy refused to flow into the ancient systems. Computers shut down, circuits fried, and the ship seemed completely dead. For weeks, humanity tried every possible method: fusion cores, antimatter, even alien generators purchased through black markets. Nothing worked. Until one day, a technician named Mara accidentally brushed her hand against a panel inside the ship's command deck. The panel lit up. The entire ship hummed, faintly at first, then stronger. Lights flickered across the control room. Symbols scrolled across the main screen, first in strange alien letters, then slowly shifting into English. Human DNA recognized. "Command protocols active. Welcome aboard, Commander." Mara stumbled backward, wide-eyed. The ship had accepted her. Within hours, the vessel came alive. Power surged through long-dead circuits. Engines rumbled like thunder. Weapon systems glowed, faintly though still locked. It was clear now. This warship was designed only for humans. News spread quickly, and this time, aliens did not laugh as loudly. Some were curious, some were worried. Others mocked harder, trying to hide their unease. On war. The Galactic Net, a popular alien talk host, said, "So the humans woke up a relic. What will they do with it? Fly it into a moon and break it? Their ships are fragile, their fleets small. Let them play with their toy. It will change nothing." But behind closed doors, military strategists across the galaxy exchanged nervous whispers. If the humans truly possessed a functional warship of unknown power, it could upset the balance of entire sectors. The humans, however, kept working in silence. Commander Rains was assigned as the first official captain of the Invictus. He stood on the bridge, staring at the controls. The ship seemed to respond to his presence as if it were alive. "Status?" he asked. Mara checked the readings. "Engines are stable. Shields at 50%. Weapons locked. We don't have the access codes." Dr. Holt added, "If this ship is as old as I think, those codes might be buried deep in its memory. We'll need time to learn them." Rains clenched his jaw. "Time may be something we don't have. The galaxy is watching." And he was right. Unknown to Earth, several alien intelligence agencies had already dispatched scouts. To them, the Invictus wasn't just a curiosity, it was a potential threat. And threats had to be destroyed. The first attack came sooner than expected. One night, alarms rang across the hidden dockyard. 3 alien ships had entered Earth's orbit, cloaked until the last moment. They weren't official Navy vessels. They were mercenaries, hired to test the humans and, if possible, destroy the relic before it could fly. Rains rushed to the bridge of the Invictus. "Status? Dock defenses are firing, but we can't." "Hold them," Mara reported. "We need the ship's weapons." The ship's systems glowed as if listening. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, targeting displays lit up across the bridge. Red triangles locked onto the incoming attackers. The Invictus spoke in a deep, cold voice. "Threat detected. Authorization granted. Engaging." A single lance of blue-white energy shot from the ship's side. One alien vessel was torn apart instantly, ripped into molten debris. The other 2 turned in panic, firing wildly. But the Invictus's shields absorbed the hits without effort. Another volley fired and the second ship exploded. The last mercenary fled into the darkness of space. The Invictus powered down, as if satisfied. Silence filled the bridge. Rains finally spoke. "This isn't just a warship, it's a predator." The next day, alien broadcasts filled the networks. Some mocked again, but others spoke in hushed tones. The humans claimed their ancient ship destroyed 3 attackers. Lies, surely lies. But then came the survivor's transmission. Shaky and terrified, the alien mercenary described the encounter in detail. "It wasn't a ship," he stammered. "It was a nightmare. It knew where to hit. It knew how to kill. We weren't fighting humans. We were fighting something that remembered how to hunt us." For the first time, laughter in the galaxy began to die. Back on Earth, Dr. Holt studied the ship's data logs. What she found made her blood run cold. "This ship fought before," she whispered to Rains. "Hundreds of battles. Thousands, not against pirates. Not against alien fleets we know. Against something else." "Something else?" Rains asked. She nodded. "Something the galaxy has forgotten. Or wanted us to forget." The Invictus wasn't just a relic. It was a message. The UHS Invictus was no longer silent. Its engines thrummed with life, its lights glowed like a heartbeat, and every human who stepped aboard felt a strange mix of awe and fear. The ship had already proved its power once, when it destroyed the alien mercenaries in orbit. Now the question was, what would humanity do with it? Commander Elias Rains stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic display of Earth and its colonies scattered across nearby star systems. Most were fragile outposts, mining stations, research labs, and small settlements. The galaxy didn't take them seriously. To aliens, they were targets easy to raid and plunder. Dr. Kira Holt leaned over the console, her eyes fixed on the symbols still translating across the Invictus's screens. "This ship has records," she said quietly. "Old battle logs, enemy profiles, even maps of regions of space we've never charted. Whoever built this ship, they fought across half the galaxy." Rains didn't answer. He was still thinking about the mercenary attack. If 3 small ships had come so easily, what would stop larger fleets from trying the same? 2 weeks later, the answer came. The colony of Arden III, a mining settlement on the edge of human territory, sent a distress call. A pirate fleet of 10 ships had surrounded the colony, demanding surrender. The pirates were mostly alien raiders, known for taking slaves and stripping planets bare. Arden III's militia ships were weak, barely capable of defending against one cruiser, let alone 10. The Galactic Council did nothing. To them, Arden III wasn't important enough. Humanity begged for help. No response came. Rains stood in the Yaum Invictus's command chair as the call repeated on the bridge. "This is Governor Lyle of Arden III. We are under attack. Please, anyone, if you can hear us, help us." Mara, the technician who had first awakened the ship, turned to Rains. "We can't ignore this. If we let them fall, the galaxy will think humans are weak." Dr. Holt added, "If we use the Invictus openly, the galaxy will no longer laugh. They'll know we're serious." Rains clenched his fists. He knew both were right. "Prepare the ship. We're going to Arden III." The journey was faster than anyone expected. The Invictus had engines unlike anything modern humans or aliens understood. It crossed light years in hours, slipping through space like a predator stalking its prey. When the ship emerged near Arden III, the pirate fleet was already bombarding the colony's defenses. Explosions lit up the surface as orbital stations fell, one by one. Civilians were screaming over comms, begging for mercy. The pirates laughed. To them, this was sport. Then the Invictus arrived. On the pirate flagship, Captain Drawl watched as a massive shape emerged from hyperspace. His crew gasped. The ship was enormous, larger than any human vessel they had seen before. Its hull shimmered with deep scars, like old battle wounds. "What is that thing?" one of his lieutenants asked. Drawl smirked. "A bluff. Humans don't have warships like that. Fire everything." Dozens of pirate cannons lit up, streaking energy across the void. Explosions shook space, but when the fire cleared, the Invictus still stood. Its shields absorbed the barrage like rain against stone. On the Invictus's bridge, Mara smiled faintly. "Shields holding. They barely scratched us." Rains gave the order. "Target the flagship." The Invictus responded with cold precision. Its weapons locked onto the pirate command ship, finding weak points in its armor. Then, a beam of blue-white energy lanced across space. The flagship's shields collapsed instantly and the beam cut straight through its core. The pirate ship exploded in a fireball, fragments scattering across the system. The rest of the pirate fleet froze. Panic spread among the raiders. Some tried to flee, others charged forward in desperation. The Invictus moved like a predator unleashed. Its guns roared, firing salvos of energy bolts and rail slugs faster than human eyes could follow. Every shot was perfect, every strike lethal. Within minutes, 4 more pirate ships were destroyed. But then the Invictus did something strange. Instead of wiping them all out, it began disabling ships, targeting engines, weapons, and power cores with surgical accuracy. Soon the pirates were floating helplessly, alive but broken. Dr. Holt's eyes widened as she read the ship's logs. It's holding back. It doesn't want to waste ammunition. It's capturing them, not just destroying." Rains realized the truth. This ship isn't just a weapon. It's a strategist. The last 2 pirate ships surrendered, broadcasting frantic pleas for mercy. Arden III was saved. The colonists cheered as the Invictus descended into orbit. Governor Lyle himself appeared on the comms, his face pale with relief. You saved us. I don't know how to thank you." Rains nodded, his voice firm but calm. "Thank us by remembering this day. Humanity will not be mocked. We will not be prey." The message spread across the colony and soon across the galaxy, but the galaxy did not react as one. Some aliens dismissed the reports as exaggerated propaganda. "A single ship cannot be that strong," they said. "The humans staged this to look powerful." Others began to whisper with fear. The pirates' testimony spread quickly. Descriptions of how the Invictus tore through them like paper, how it seemed to know their tactics before they acted. And among the Galactic Council, private discussions turned serious. If the humans truly had access to ancient weapons, it threatened the balance of power. Meanwhile, aboard the Invictus, the crew celebrated quietly. Mara smiled for the first time in weeks, watching the colonists send messages of gratitude. But Dr. Holt was not smiling. She had been digging deeper into the ship's data logs, and what she found unsettled her. The Invictus recorded the battle against the pirates as if it were nothing, just a minor skirmish. Its logs compared the fight to past battles, thousands of them, enemies stronger than the pirates, fleets larger than anything the Council currently fielded. This ship doesn't think of them as enemies, Holt whispered to herself. It thinks of them as practice. That night, Rains stood alone on the bridge staring out at the stars. The Invictus hummed softly, its lights glowing like watchful eyes. He couldn't shake the feeling that the ship was alive, watching, judging, remembering. He spoke quietly as if to the ship itself. Who built you? What war were you made for? The Invictus did not answer, but deep within its systems a locked file pulsed faintly, a message waiting to be opened, a warning written long ago. For now, humanity was celebrating its victory. But across the galaxy, powers were moving, fleets were being prepared, and soon humanity would learn that saving Arden 3 was only the beginning. Because the galaxy would not let this insult stand. The humans had shown their teeth. Now the galaxy was preparing to bite back. The rescue of Arden 3 had shaken the galaxy. The images of the ancient warship, the UHS Invictus, destroying an entire pirate fleet spread across every news network. Colonists told stories of how the ship descended like an avenging angel, while pirates whispered of its terrifying precision. But in the great halls of the Galactic Council, laughter still echoed. Representatives of powerful species gathered in the shining chamber on Valoran Prime, their voices sharp and mocking. The humans had asked to speak, to explain what happened at Arden 3. But before they could even begin, alien delegates ridiculed them. A six-eyed Tharvian counselor leaned forward, clicking his mandibles. So the humans found a toy in the dirt and fired it once. They think this makes them mighty? Ha! A feathered Valoran delegate spread his wings dramatically. Let them have their old relic, it changes nothing. Humans are still fragile, still weak. One ship does not make a fleet. The chamber roared with amusement, but not everyone was laughing. In the shadows, military strategists whispered in low tones. The reports from the pirate survivors had been clear. The Invictus fought with unnatural intelligence. It knew where to strike. It spared ships only when it chose. It wasn't just powerful, it was deliberate. Back on Earth, the mood was different. The Invictus had returned in triumph, greeted by cheers from governments and citizens alike. For the first time, humanity felt pride in the stars. No longer were they the weakest. They had a weapon that could match anyone. Commander Elias Rain stood on the warship's bridge, watching celebrations broadcast across Earth. Children waved flags, colonists sent thanks, and even rival nations cooperated in funding the Invictus's restoration. But Rains did not smile. He could still feel the ship's presence around him, silent and heavy. It had fought perfectly against the pirates, almost too perfectly. And every time he asked himself the same question: who built this? Dr. Kira Holt approached, holding a datapad. Her face was pale. "I've been studying more of the battle logs," she said. "The Invictus keeps comparing our fights to old wars, but these wars don't exist in any history we know." Rains frowned. "Explain." Holt showed him the screen. Strange symbols filled the logs, now translated into English. Descriptions of enemies, massive fleets, monstrous creatures, and weapons that defied imagination. Thousands of battles fought across millennia. "This ship wasn't built for pirates," Holt said. "It was built for something far worse. And whatever it fought before, the galaxy erased it from memory." The warning came 3 weeks later. The Galactic Council, tired of human arrogance, sent a challenge. A coalition fleet of 15 warships from 5 different species would test the humans' relic in open battle. If the Invictus was truly as powerful as claimed, it would have to prove itself against real warships, not scavengers. The humans had little choice. If they refused, they would be mocked forever. If they fought and lost, humanity would be broken. And so, Rains accepted. The battle was set in neutral space, far from any planet. Spectator ships from dozens of species gathered, eager to watch the humans fail. On the Invictus's bridge, tension was thick. Mara, the young technician, checked the systems. Engines stable, shields fully charged, weapons ready. Rains nodded but said nothing. His eyes were fixed on the incoming fleet. 15 enemy ships, heavy cruisers, battleships, and carriers, ships that normally fought wars against entire empires. And here he was, with only one ship. Dr. Holt whispered, "If we lose, humanity becomes a joke again. If we win," Rain said, "they'll fear us." The coalition fleet spread out surrounding the Invictus. The alien commander, a towering reptilian named Krevax, hailed the humans. His voice was filled with disdain. "Humans, you claim strength. Prove it. If you fall, your relic will be ours." Rains replied calmly, "We don't claim strength. We claim survival. Let's begin." The comms cut. The coalition opened fire. Hundreds of energy bolts and missiles streaked through space, converging on the Invictus. Explosions erupted, but when the light cleared, the ancient warship was still standing. Its shields glowed faintly, unharmed. On the bridge, Mara's eyes widened. "They barely scratched us." Rains gave the order. "Return fire." The Invictus unleashed its fury. A storm of energy lances and rail slugs tore through space, striking with perfect accuracy. The first alien cruiser exploded instantly, its reactor pierced by a single beam. Another ship's engines were shredded, leaving it adrift. The spectators gasped. This wasn't random fire. The Invictus targeted weaknesses with surgical precision, dismantling the fleet like a predator pulling apart prey. On the alien flagship, Krevax snarled, "Impossible! Concentrate fire! Break their shields!" But the Invictus danced through. Their formation, its movements too fast for a ship its size. Every shot it fired was lethal. Another battleship went up in flames. Then another. Within minutes, 7 enemy ships were destroyed. The rest faltered. On the Invictus's bridge, Dr. Holt whispered, "It's not just fighting them. It's humiliating them." She was right. The ship was sparing targets again, crippling weapons and engines rather than killing. It wanted witnesses. It wanted survivors to tell the story. Finally, Krevax's flagship fell under the Invictus's guns. The great reptilian's last words were broadcast before his ship exploded. This is not human technology. This is ancient death, reborn." And then he was gone. The battle ended. The galaxy was silent. The council delegates who had come to laugh now watched in horror. One ship had destroyed 15. A race they mocked as fragile had humbled them before the entire galaxy. From that day, mockery turned to fear. But on Earth, the victory felt hollow. Rains stood on the bridge after the battle, staring at the stars. His crew cheered, but he could not. Dr. Holt approached, holding another datapad. Her expression was grim. "The ship unlocked something after the battle," she said. "A new set of files. It seems proud of us." Rains raised an eyebrow. "Proud?" Holt nodded. "It believes we are ready. It's preparing us for something bigger." Rains felt a chill. "Something bigger than 15 warships?" Holt's voice dropped. "Something that once required fleets of thousands. Something the galaxy tried to bury." The Invictus pulsed softly around them, its lights glowing like the eyes of a predator waiting in the dark. The galaxy had mocked humanity once. Now, it would fear them. But fear had consequences, and soon, the galaxy would strike back. The galaxy did not wait long. The destruction of the coalition fleet by a single human warship was more than an embarrassment. It was a threat. Every major power scrambled to respond. Fleets once scattered and idle were now mobilized, converging on Earth and its nearby colonies with a single goal: destroy the UHS Invictus and teach humanity its place. On Earth, the alarm sounded across every spaceport and colony. Humans were no strangers to conflict, but they had never faced such a massive, coordinated assault. Commander Elias Rains stood on the Invictus's bridge, staring at the growing holographic projection of incoming ships. Hundreds, heavy cruisers, battle carriers, squadrons of fighter escorts, the numbers were staggering. "This is not a raid," Rains said quietly. "This is an invasion." Mara, the young technician, shivered as she checked weapon systems. "How many ships are we facing?" Rains did a rough calculation. "Too many to count. We can't fight them head-on, not all of them, but we can fight smart." Dr. Kira Holt, ever the historian, studied the Invictus's data core. "This ship has survived wars like this before," she said. "Not just survived, it dominated. If we use its tactics, then we might survive too." The ship pulsed as if agreeing, its energy humming through the deck. Humans had awoken something ancient and intelligent, something that remembered old wars, long forgotten. The first waves hit near the outer colonies. Alien cruisers opened fire on minor human settlements, expecting them to crumble quickly. But the Invictus was already in motion. Rains gave the command: "Deploy drones, launch interceptors, hold the line, and get me into the thick of it." The ship moved like a living predator through the void, striking with deadly precision. Energy. Bolts tore through enemy cruisers, disabling shields and engines in seconds. The Invictus targeted their most critical points: power cores, weapon systems, communications, while keeping human losses to a minimum. Colonists watched in awe from their orbitals. Some cried, some cheered. Humanity had never fought like this before. Not with such control, such strategy, and such raw power. The alien fleets quickly realized this was no ordinary warship. Reports came back from surviving commanders. The Invictus anticipated every move. It moved through formations before attacks were launched. It responded to threats that had not yet appeared, and when it struck, it did so with precision that felt almost impossible. Kravax had been the first to fall in the previous battle. Now new commanders tried similar tactics, but each one failed. Each one died. One alien admiral, a towering insectoid named Varkesh, sent a message mid-battle. "This is not war. This is a nightmare. They are not fighting, they are hunting." The message never reached Earth. The Invictus intercepted it, targeting Varkesh's flagship with a single calculated shot. The ship disintegrated instantly. The human fleet, small but well-coordinated, followed the Invictus. They used tactics the ship suggested: flanking maneuvers, decoy attacks, and precise strike points. The warship wasn't just a weapon, it was a teacher. Every human aboard learned, almost instinctively, how to fight like their ancestors had long ago. Dr. Holt watched the logs with a mixture of fear and awe. "This ship," she said, "was built for war on a scale the galaxy has never seen. It fought empires, not pirates. It learned strategy, tactics, even patience. And it's passing that knowledge to us." Rains said nothing. His hands were steady on the controls. His eyes were fixed on the holographic map. Hundreds of ships, thousands of lives, all depending on his decisions and the wisdom of a warship older than human history itself. As the battle intensified, the Invictus revealed another secret: hidden weapon systems. Beams of concentrated energy erupted from the ship's sides, cutting swaths through enemy formations. Missile arrays fired with uncanny speed, destroying entire squadrons before they could react. Alien admirals began to panic. They had never seen a human ship fight with such intelligence. Reports flooded their command centers. "This is not a ship. It thinks, it predicts, it kills where it wants, and it spared who it chose." Many surviving ships were left crippled but alive. The Invictus wanted witnesses. The galaxy would remember this day. On Earth, the news networks broadcast live images from drones in orbit. Civilians watched the battle in horror and awe. Children hid under tables. Adults clenched their fists in fear and pride. Humanity was no longer fragile. They were dangerous. Hours into the battle, the alien fleets attempted to regroup. They had hoped overwhelming numbers would crush the humans. They underestimated the Invictus. Rains maneuvered the ship through a narrow asteroid field, drawing the enemy in. The Invictus moved like a ghost, disappearing behind massive rocks, then striking from unexpected angles. Entire squadrons were destroyed before they even knew what had hit them. Mara laughed quietly, almost in disbelief. It's like watching a predator in the wild. The humans are learning. We're learning. Dr. Holt nodded gravely. The Invictus remembers wars that shaped the galaxy. It remembers the fear humans once inspired, and it wants us to inspire it again. Even as humans celebrated small victories, the scale of the battle was immense. Hundreds of enemy ships had already fallen, but more kept coming. The galaxy was throwing everything it had at Earth, determined to erase what they saw as a dangerous anomaly. Then came the moment that would be remembered for generations. The Invictus's sensors detected a massive command fleet, the leaders of the alien coalition. It was the largest concentration of firepower humanity had ever faced. Rains felt a shiver run down his spine, but the ship pulsed as if urging him forward. "This is it," he said to the bridge crew. "The galaxy wants to see if we can fall. Let's show them what humans are capable of." With precise timing, the Invictus struck. Its energy beams ripped through the command fleet, targeting each flagship with deadly accuracy. Alien commanders were destroyed or incapacitated almost instantly. Their fleet faltered, losing coordination and cohesion. The human fleet took advantage, striking decisively and forcing a full retreat. Ships that had been confident now fled in panic, scattering into the void. Humanity had won, not by numbers, but by strategy, precision, and courage. When the battle ended, silence fell across the galaxy. Entire fleets had been shattered. The galaxy's leaders were stunned. They had underestimated humanity, not just as a race but as survivors, warriors, and strategists. On the Invictus's bridge, Rains finally allowed himself to breathe. Mara cheered quietly. Dr. Holt remained thoughtful. "This ship," Holt said softly, "has shown us what humans were and what we might become." Rains nodded. "The galaxy will no longer mock us. They will fear us, and they will remember that humanity does not surrender." The Invictus pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. It had fought before. It had survived before. And now, it had passed its knowledge, its memory, and its will to humanity. But the war was not over. The galaxy would recover, and it would retaliate again. Humanity had shown its strength. The battle had ended, but the galaxy was still in shock. Entire fleets had been destroyed, command ships vaporized, and alien admirals who had once mocked humanity were now gone. The humans stood victorious, but the cost was clear. Every planet, every colony, every human ship had felt the strain. Yet for the first time, humans were no longer seen as fragile, primitive, or laughable. Commander Elias Rains stood on the bridge of the UHS Invictus, looking out at the remnants of the shattered fleets. The stars were calm again, but the echoes of war lingered in the void. He had fought, led, and survived, but the victory felt heavier than he expected. Mara, the young technician who had first awakened the ship, approached him quietly. "We won," she said softly. "We actually won. The galaxy, they'll never mock us again." Rains nodded, but he did not smile. "No, they won't, but fear is a heavy burden. They will hate us, they will watch us, and one day they will try again." Dr. Kira Holt joined them, holding a data pad with the Invictus's latest readings. Her expression was a mix of awe and unease. "The ship, it's revealing more of its history, files we didn't know existed, battle logs, maps, enemy descriptions, even our own past." Rains turned sharply. "Our past?" Holt nodded. "Yes, the Invictus remembers. It shows that humans once fought wars across the stars. Empires fell, enemies vanished, entire sectors reshaped by humans long before recorded history. The galaxy erased these events, but this ship, it remembers." For hours, the three of them explored the ship's hidden archives. What they found was staggering. Humanity had not begun in obscurity. It had once ruled or defended vast regions of space, wielding technology and strategy far beyond what the galaxy now possessed. There were records of enemy races that had been wiped from history, fleets so vast and powerful that modern civilizations could not imagine them. Terrifying weapons, devastating battles, and a human civilization that had survived cataclysmic wars. Wars that almost ended life itself. Dr. Holt whispered, almost to herself, "The humans of today, they are heirs to something incredible, something the galaxy wanted forgotten." Rains felt a chill. "And now we are awake again." The Invictus pulsed softly, as if acknowledging his words. It had chosen them, humanity, to carry its memory and power forward. Meanwhile, the remnants of the alien fleets regrouped in secret. News of the humans' victory spread faster than any council could control. Across the galaxy, fear took root. Former allies of the coalition whispered among themselves, planning ways to strike back, but caution held them. Every encounter with humans now carried a new weight. Every skirmish could unleash the Invictus again. In the colonies, humans celebrated, but they also prepared. Military bases expanded. New fleets were built. Technology, once scattered and limited, was unified and improved. Humans realized that victory had changed them, not just in power but in identity. Days after the battle, Rains convened a council aboard the Invictus. The human leaders of the colonies, scientists, and military commanders gathered to discuss the future. "We cannot hide," Rains said firmly. "The galaxy has seen our strength. They will come again, stronger and smarter. We must be ready, not just to survive, but to lead." Mara spoke up, hesitant but firm. "Captain, the ship, it taught us. It showed us strategies, tactics, even patience. If we listen, we can become like it. Smarter, faster, stronger." Dr. Holt nodded. "And we have knowledge that no one else does. Records of battles, of enemies, of a past that shapes the present. We are not starting over. We are continuing something that was interrupted." Rains looked at the humans around him. For the first time, he felt the weight of responsibility, not just as a commander, but as a guardian of humanity's legacy. "We are humans," he said quietly. "We survive, we adapt, and we remember. The galaxy may have forgotten who we were, but it will never forget again. Not now, not ever." Weeks later, the Invictus moved through space, carrying its crew and the newly united human fleet. They passed destroyed enemy ships, floating remnants of arrogance and underestimation. For every ship destroyed, humans grew stronger. Each encounter honed their skills, taught them tactics, and deepened their understanding of strategy. The Invictus guided them silently, teaching as it had for millennia. It was more than a warship. It was a mentor, a guardian, and a reminder of what humans could be. Colonists watched in awe as humans rebuilt, prepared, and strengthened. Every step forward was deliberate. Every fleet deployment was calculated. Humanity had learned from its mistakes, and it had learned from the ancient ship. Then came the final revelation. Deep within the Invictus's data core, a message appeared. Unlocked. Automatically after the human victory over the invading fleets, to the descendants of the first humans, you have awakened the memory of the past. You have survived the trials of the present. You are not weak. You are the heirs of those who once shaped the stars. The galaxy may fear you now, but it is your choice to guide it. Do not seek revenge. Seek wisdom, courage, and unity. You are the future. Rains read the message aloud on the bridge. Silence fell. Every human aboard felt a mixture of pride and awe. The words were not just a warning, they were a charge, a mission, and a promise. "This ship, it believes in us," Mara said softly. Dr. Holt added, "And it is giving us the choice. We can be conquerors or protectors. The galaxy is ours, to shape." Rains looked out at the stars, now calm and bright after the storm of war. "We will choose wisely, Humanity will not just survive, it will thrive, and we will never forget what this ship has taught us, or what we are capable of. In the following months, humanity's reputation transformed. Colonies flourished under protection of the Invictus and the growing fleets. Alien observers whispered stories of the ancient human warship, spreading awe and fear. No one dared mock humanity openly again. Some alien historians tried to reconstruct the old wars, but the records were incomplete. The galaxy had been shaped by humans before, and now it would remember them again. The humans did not seek war, but they did not hide. They explored new regions of space, established diplomatic contacts cautiously, and always kept the Invictus at the center of their fleets. Every human ship carried a lesson from the past. Every human captain knew that they were heirs to a legacy older and greater than any known empire. And then, as the galaxy slowly recovered from the shock of human power, Rains made a quiet observation. To his crew, "The stars will never be the same now that humans walk among them." Mara smiled, finally understanding the weight of their victory. Dr. Holt nodded, feeling the burden of history and the thrill of future possibilities. The Invictus pulsed softly as if approving. Humanity had survived ancient wars. It had awakened an empire of memory and strategy. And now, standing tall in the face of fear, humans were no longer just survivors. They were masters of their destiny. The galaxy had witnessed their power, and it would never forget. The stars were wide and endless, and humanity, with the wisdom of the past and the courage of the present, would step forward into them. The legacy of fire had begun,